Here we go with the third round. We're starting first again, and that's pretty cool. And we also have a good hand, but we don't really have enough. We don't really have a lot of spells. I mean, Four Lands is cool enough, I guess, but we are again Affinity. We are against Affinity again, and we also have to one Nihil Spell Bomb. I'm not sure if I want to play Bog now. I think I'll play Radiant Fountain and keep my Bog to exile their creature, preventing them to bring back with Blood Fountain, if possible at least. Alright, we draw the third land. And there we go, Spearing Overseer. I probably play Ash Baron something for, unless they have a lot of creatures. Progmite? Sure. Alright. So, Generous Edict. Kill their Progmite. I play Ash Barons. I want to crack my clue token. I think that is probably important to play Generous Edicts as fast as possible in these early turns, so we can kill their Frogmite, we can prevent them to have enough artifacts on the battlefield, and then we can eventually draw with the clue. We can eventually play the Bujuk Box, selling one more extra card. Hit a steady square, sick. Attack. Play Guardian. And then I'll bring back with the bounce land my Radiant Fountain. Alright. So they'll probably cracking my their Nihil Spell Bomb. Probably should not be worried. But still, I'm not sure why they killed my Spearing Overseer instead of after the combat. Probably they're just not worried about the current world state. Next turn I can play Keys to the Square and Omen of the Dead. I don't want to waste a cast down targeting their Frogmite. So, come on opponent, play a Gruma Gangler or a Mirror Forcer. They have a Blood Fountain. I'll play Traveling Spectre. Draw a card. And there's another Radiant Fountain. I think that the correct play here is to attack with the Guardian of the Guild Pact, because if they have a Galvanic Blaster getting my double Traveling Spectre when I'm double blocking Frogmite is still a good way to deal with their removal spells, because we already cycled this Traveling Spectre. What are you doing? So I'm the dumb one here because I played Radiant Fountain instead of Bujuka Bog. It's pretty stupid to jump block here with Frogmite. I mean, you are not generating any value from it. Okay, so we are doing something with the Omen of the Dead. That's fine for me. if they want to crack the Blood Fountain, bringing back 2 Frogmites, they're just wasting their value generated from Blood Fountain. I mean, Frogmite is just a 2/2 creature. There is not doing anything relevant. Also, I have enough creatures that cycle themselves too. So you can crack your Blood Fountain, bringing back 2 Frogmite anytime you want. And if you are not cracking Blood Fountain, maybe you are maybe have a Midrange Forcer. If they have a Midrange Forcer, can be kind of good, I guess. No Midrange Forcer, sick. I want to play Radiant Fountain now. Okay. Yeah, if they have a Mirror Retriever or a Gurmag Angler, they can eventually doing something. They draw Makeshift Foundation, sure. Oh no, you are killing my creators. I'm impressed. Oh, another Frogmite. And then they're killing my other copy of Inspiring Overseer. No? Hey, if you want, you can attack with your Frogmite. I'll attack with Inspiring Overseer first. Not sure why they didn't kill it earlier. I think we are kind of winning this match with the flying creatures. Custody Square, who can be good against them. I think there's no reason to play cast down on their Gurmag Angler right now. Alright. Okay. They took 2 damages and then sacrificed the Frogmite to kill my Inspiring Overseer. Why are you doing that thing? I mean, I can jump block with Guardian of the Guildpact without worrying about anything. Maybe have a Reckless Bargain in hand. Reckless Bargain here would be truly good because they can get 7 life. Oh no, my Custody Squire. Alright, Kowski Fisher. Bounce, Omen, play. Omen, bring back Custody Squire. And we play Custody Square. I want to play Custody Square here. I think yes. I can still draw another copy of Korsky Fisher or Omen of the Dead. Let's see if my opponent want to... Yeah! Thank you, opponent! White Moondrifter! No, I'm not attacking here. I don't want to randomly lose to Affinity drawing again 2 copies of Mirror Forcer in a single turn. Yeah, that's already to 9, they already draw half of their deck, but right now they don't really have anything relevant. There's a Mirror Retriever. Okay, that's kind of cool. Let's see if they want to kill it right now to bring back Blood Fountain. I think they will not. There's another Butcher Cabal. Okay, I'm attacking first with Square and Crucifixio. They probably have another Galvanic Blast. No, they have already played 2 copies, maybe they don't have it. Well, anyway, we will then kill the Gurmag Angler with Cast Down, probably. And then... okay. They're cracking 3 artifacts to kill my Custody Square. So I guess they will also kill 1 Frogmite and 1 Mirror Retriever, because with Mirror Retriever they can bring back Blood Fountain. And I think that's the wisest choice here. They have a better late game, so they're just trying to play the control role. But they now don't have enough mana to play anything else, so I can play double Inspiring Overseer. And if I draw another Removal Spell, I can eventually... wow! Finally! Okay, so... easy peasy. Dawnbringer Cleric. Destroy their munitions. Kill their Angler. And exile the graveyard. We can play first Spear Supplies. Pestilence, cool. And we are also exiling their Mirror Retriever, which is pretty great. I mean, I kept my Bojuka Bog in hand until now just to do this simple play, and that's pretty awesome. So sometimes you are able to win against Affinity because they don't have a truly fast start, and you are able to destroy their munitions, and you are also able to draw all flying creatures. And weirdly enough, I found this way of win against Affinity the most reliable gameplay and the most reliable win. Of course, we are sideboarding in the same way, and I think we can submit. I mean, just now we were able to win with Guardian of the Guild Pact, but this Affinity list are running only 1 single copy of Gurmag Angler, so for that reason I think that we don't need to rely too much on Guardian of the Guild Pact. Alright, so we're starting second. We have Pestilence. I think I'll keep this end because we only need 1 white mana to do everything. I think that thanks to the double copy of Spear Supplies we can still play an untapped land on turn 2, so we can eventually play Bojuka Bog only on turn 3. They have munitions on turn 2, and that's pretty bad for us. Do I want to discard anything from my hand? I probably discard 1 basic swamp. Basilica, I think I need to keep it because it's an extra white source, and also I want to keep my Bojuka Bog because I want a way to interact with your graveyard. Also I needed to play the white source here because I need to draw, for example, my Dawnbringer Cleric. Alright, there's a fountain. So we are getting back some lives, and we are probably not randomly die from Exchange Formations. Anyway, they'll probably kill our creatures with their munitions, and double munitions here in early game is pretty good for them. Nice. So I'm not wasting my Crucifixio on Spear Supplies, and I think that here playing Dawnbringer Cleric kill munitions, then play Skyfisher, again Dawnbringer Cleric can be good. Do I want to play Bojuki Bog? I think we can consider Bojuki Bog a sort of resource. So I'm not cracking my spare supplies, and I'm also not playing Bojuki Bog. Let's see next turn what the opponent has. We're attacking first. If they kill my Dawnbringer Cleric, I can bring it with Custody Squire, so it's not even a problem in the second munitions. And it's not even a problem if they have a Galvanic Blast. Ooh, they are not Galvanic Blasting my Dawnbringer Cleric. Nice. See ya, munitions. You did enough for now. Wow, they're killing my Korsky Fisher by cracking three lands. That's so cool. They probably don't have anything left in hand. I mean, if they destroy their 3 lands just to kill my Korsky Fisher, they probably have only lands in hand. I guess they will play a Dispute, right? Or Grouping Angler, sure. Why did you not exile your munitions? Ah, maybe because they only have 1 copy of Grouping Angler in their deck. There's Thorn of the Black Rose. Okay, easy peasy. Since we also have a cast down. We want to play the Bojuki Bog or the Silver Quill Campus. I guess the Silver Quill Campus. I'm not sure if I will. I'm still not sure if I will be able to win this game, but since they still had another pretty slow start, maybe we will able to do that. Alright, Generous Edict, Flash Packet, and Bojuki Bog at the right time. Spell Pierce, wow. I wasn't expecting Spell Pierce. I mean, from my point of view, it isn't really great, but I guess since they don't really have enough answers to cast like Pestilence or Cast Down or even Dust to Dust, probably they just want to Spell Pierce Dust to Dust. Come on, double Galvanic Blast, kill my creatures. We can fetch for black, I guess. Okay. Yeah, I only have 4 black mana. There's an Inspired Overseer. I can tap my Bojuki Bog and 1 Radiant Fountain. So I will also able to use the white mana to cast something else. Wow! Spell Pierce and Turn Aside. Okay. If I land my Custody Square, I will be able to bring back Skyfisher, play Skyfisher and bring back spare supplies. But I don't really want to lose my Skyfisher or Custody Square. Well, eventually there's no reason to keep my Dawnbringer Cleric on the battlefield. I guess that playing double Inspiring Overseer or Inspiring Overseer plus Traveling Inspector will be eventually good. Okay, they aren't open anymore with Spell Pierce or Turn Aside, so I guess that is time to play the third normal spells, kill their Enforcer, Exile, Enforcer, and Angler, so that they can't generate value from Blood Fountain and attack for 2. Next turn we can play a bunch of flying creatures. Weird enough, they didn't draw any Galvanic Blast till now, and of course the Galvanic Blast right now are good only against my creatures. I guess they kept their Galvanic Blast and they also kept their Frogmite because Frogmite is still good in this matchup since it's a creature and can counter Generous Edict. I want to play first my Inspiring Overseer, because if I draw Okiba against Shinobi, I can play Okiba against Shinobi. Alright. Attack with everything. No Galvanic Blast, no Galvanic Blast. Right. Alright. I think I want to bring back Spare Supplies, because Spare Supplies draw 1 extra card compared to Korski Fisher. But I can also play the Korski Fisher in a heavy hand, so I can still put a lot of pressure on the battlefield this turn. And if I remember correctly, they don't really have a lot of way to interact with flying creatures. Oh no. Alright, we throw Omen of the Dead, so we can bring back first Korski Fisher and then City Square. They probably had sideboarded out some copies of Frogmite because it's pretty weird. Ooh. They drawn Heal Spellbomb at the right time. Oh well, anyway, I think that we will keep my Omen of the Dead in hand till they crack the Heal Spellbomb, and probably just bring back Korski Fisher because Korski Fisher is better compared to Custody Square when it comes to card advantage. Of course, I kept my Relic of Progenitus. I bought my card advantage Relic of Progenitus because I think that the matchup is so bad that we need all the answers to their threat. If we play Generosthetic here, we are not generating a lot of value. We are killing only 1 creature, so I think that can be better to keep the Generosthetic in hand. Double Omen of the Dead, cool. We can play the Relic of Progenitus. Exile 1 of their cards. And then we are attacking with everything. Except the non-flying creatures. They already played 2 lands, 2 Galvanic Blast I mean, but they may have... no, only 1 Galvanic Blast. Okay. Oh, I forgot to play the land. There's another Korski Fisher. They're not even cracking their Nihil Spellbomb? Oh, they're cracking Experimental Synthesizer. Sure. Sadly enough, we can't kill. Ooh, finally. want to bring back my Custody Squire? Probably yes, because it's a 3/3 instead of a 2/3. Double Omen of the Dead. On response. Sure, go ahead. Exile my graveyard. You need another Galvanic Blast or a Chinar's Edict if you bring an Chinar's Edict against me. I mean, I bring it out my Guardian of the Guildpact, so maybe you didn't bring an Chinar's Edict against me. Alright, we also have Chinar's Edict with Rukebog and Relic of Progenitus, so maybe we can exile their graveyard. Anyway, Double Blood Fountain. They finally found both their fountains. We're cycling the Ash Barons. I guess that we can break. Yeah, other plane seems fine now. We are cracking the clue token. Finally, the forbidden Okiba. I'll attack with my flying creatures and then ninjutsu Kibeken Shinobi. They probably don't have much left in hand, but since we have a Rukebog, maybe it can be important to ninjutsu now. Double lance, sure. There's not much value from this Chinar's Edict. We basically want to kill only the Reinforcer. I'll play again Spring Overseer, I guess. Yeah, there's no creatures in my graveyard right now, so his Steady Square does nothing. Pestilence. Should I play Pestilence? Yeah. No, I'll wait next turn. Maybe they have another spell pierce in hand. I'll play double Skyfisher probably. What are you doing? Why are you cracking the Chromatic Star right now? Alright, discard Blood Token. If I play planes, I'll discard a couple of cards. Maybe I should bring back a Omen of the Dead. I can also discard Custody Squire if I bring back Omen of the Dead. Exile one card! Very relevant. We still have a lot of life, but I think that will be better to discard Silver Queen Campus. We discard Orzhov Basilica. Just a land. It's just a land, and with Relic of Progenitus on the battlefield, we don't really need to do a lot. The interesting part of this game is that I landed an early game Thorn of Black Rose, but my opponent did draw more cards than me, something like 10 cards. Yeah, okay, they conceded. Nice. That's a pretty awesome. I mean, we lost 0-3 in the first Affinity deck, but then to the second Affinity, since they didn't draw enough copies of Mirror Forcer in the early game, we won 2-0. And probably game 2 they sideboarded out their Frogmate, thinking that they weren't good enough because they they can attack with if we have a Guardian of the Guildpact or Sky Fisher. But I also boarded out my Guardian of the Guildpact because they're truly bad against their reinforcers. So I guess they thought that I will eventually keep my Guardian of the Guildpact, but since cards like Etug or Carapace Forger are no more played in Affinity, I think that keeping my Guardian of the Guildpact just to interact better with Gurva Gangler is probably not good. They also had Spell Pierce into turn aside, but since they didn't draw a second copy of Galvanic Blast until the game was already prolonged, the match went really well for me. Okay, that's really satisfying. Let's see what we will face in the next round. Alright, fourth round of the league. The starting end is not bad. I mean, we have a couple of draws, extra draws. We also have cast down a Pestilence if it's a Swarm deck or a Fierce deck, so I think that we can kill it. Anyway, usually one of the dead is kind of better compared to Pestilence in other games. I mean, the third Affinity in a row? Wow. So if it's Affinity, I prefer to land Spare Supplies on turn 2, and then on turn 3 Japanese Spectre and Bounce Land, so I can play Pestilence on turn 4. That's not Affinity. What are you playing, opponent? Carrion Feeder? Alright. I'm not sure if I want to play Cast Down over Journey to Nowhere here. Anyway, the opponent is gonna sacrifice the Carrion Feeder. But Journey to Nowhere is better if they have a creature that requires this, that do something when you sacrifice it. So probably it's just better to play Cast Down here. Alright, the opponent is playing Rapid Sacrifice, clearly. But Pestilence is probably good against them. Also, if they sacrifice the creature with Lugarda, if they sacrifice the creature, it sacrifices another creature, so it can sacrifice itself. If they sacrifice the creature we target with Journey to Nowhere, that's cool for me because I can bring it back with I can bring back the Journey to Nowhere with Korsky Fisher. So basically Korsky Fisher is a sort of creature that kills my opponent's creatures. Alright, we will play Pestilence, I guess. I want to play Pestilence, yeah, so I can deal 2 damage next turn instead of only 1. Anyway, they probably don't have any other creature, so for me it's cool. Because they wasted enough resources. No, if they don't have enough creature, they can put enough counters on Carrion Feeder, so I can kill their Carrion Feeder with my Pestilence. And then play a couple of creatures so to let my Pestilence survive. Oh, could just rebirth. Sure. They're already sacrificing the tokens. That's even better for me. Maybe. I want to play double Japanese Spectrum to Chum block. But I can also draw a card with Spare Supplies, so maybe I should play Spare Supplies first, because if I did draw, for example, Chinese Edict or Cast Down, would be a exactly. Oh well, anyway, we'll just play another Japanese Spectrum. Also, I think that it's important to play the last one Trouble Inspector now. The last one extra creature now, I mean 2 creatures, because they probably have a primal spells, so we can chum block with Trouble. And then they probably cast out? Oh, they're playing a lot of creatures. Oh well, anyway. Have a Chinar's Edict. Kill the Carrion Feeder. Then we can play Omen of the Dead, bring back Traben, and have 3 mana. Do I want to play Dawnbringer's Cleric? They have an Act. If they have an Act, I want to play Dawnbringer's Cleric and probably exile their Carrion Feeder. I mean, if they have another unearthed, we are basically countering the unearthed with the Dawnbringer Cleric. Okay, against a lightning deck isn't really wise to go much down as a life gain, but we won game 1. Pretty easy. So against them, what we want post side? That's a sort of card advantage aggro deck. We don't really have a lot of cards against them. I mean, probably Lone Missionary is great against their aggressive approach, but if we consider that they may have some sort of value from their graveyard, Relic of Progenitors can be relevant in certain ways. Anyway, I guess that Dawnbringer Cleric... no, wait, probably we should keep Dawnbringer Cleric, because if they have munitions, we need Dawnbringer Cleric to kill their... to kill their munitions. Probably we don't need to use the discard or turn out the Black Rose, and if we count them, we can bring in 3 copies of Lone Missionary or eventually 3 copies of Castigate. But anyway, I think that Lone Missionary can be better, because if we rely too much on Pestilence, we might be lose to Lightning Bolt or other cards, other similar cards. I'm not sure about Ashes to Ashes, because the... no, wait. Maybe we need to bring in Ashes to Ashes, because it is an extra remote spell, and we can cut... maybe a Guardian of the Guild Pact? I'm not sure. I mean, maybe I want all my Lone Missionaries. Also, I want Pestilence because they are running Cool Dota Rebirth. Force, maybe I don't want to play Inspiring Overseer or another Chinese Edict. Chinese Edict seems kind of bad against a deck with Cool Dota Rebirth. But I guess that since we are also bringing in more life gain creatures, maybe we don't need to play the 3rd copy of Inspiring Overseer. Since Inspiring Overseer is just a 3 mana, draw a card, in 1 life, and chop block. We have plenty enough of Ramal spells, but 0 lands. And I guess we should keep this. And I'll put on the bottom Traben Inspector probably. I mean, I have already 3 mana. If I draw only 1 single mana, I can play Pestilence. And if I put 1 swamp on the bottom, basically with my Traben Inspector and Spare Supplies, I want to draw another land. So we are catching Traben Inspector, which is draw a card, draw a land, and put one Pimpinot on the battlefield to just keep 1 extra land. Do this, another Carrion Feeder, and have the bounce land. The bounce land. Oh wait, Generous Edict is actually pretty great against the Carrion Feeder because they can't sacrifice the creatures on response to the removal spells. Alright, next turn, Spirit Supplies, Traveling Inspector. And we can double champ block with Traven and Omen of the Dead. Omen of the Dead is also pretty great against them because we can have an infinite champ blocker with Curse Fisher. Bugardan, I guess? No? Gul'dat or Bot, maybe? Or Bot. Gul'dat or a Bot. Goblin's Letter? Wow. I mean, you are playing Goblin's Letter in a sacrifice deck because you are running... Ooh, that's cool. Okay. So we can play Traveling Inspector. And I leave them open to crack the glue token or to cast down, targeting the creature if they're, for example, attacking with Carrion Feeder and I block with Traven, then they sacrifice another creature to Carrion Feeder when I champ block Carrion Feeder, so I can cast out the creature and invalidate their sacrifice. They have Kudatar, but... Alright. If they also have Goblin Bushwalker, Body Dropper. Body Dropper. I guess I should kill Carrion Feeder before the Body Dropper enters the battlefield. And probably I should not block the Goblin's Ladder since they have a Body Dropper on the battlefield, because they're not putting any 1/1 counter on it. I need a bounce land or something similar. That's not really great. I mean, we missed the third land drop. Okay, your turn opponent have double champ blocker on your Body Dropper. Let's see what you have. I mean, if you don't draw the third or wall spell, you can just do whatever you prefer to my creatures. No, there's no reason to double champ block. No, I also don't want to champ block their Body Dropper, so in my opinion it's better to double champ block Goblin's Ladder, because my Traveling Inspector have 2 on Constitution, so they need to sacrifice a lot of cards or eventually play a Lightning Bolt. Yes, of course. Taking some damage. Yeah, finally. Okay. I think I'll play Lone Missionary, so I can get back some life, and then play my Bujuka Bog, and when they'll kill my Lone Missionary, I can just bring it back with Omen of the Dead, so we are not losing from their aggro. And we draw the 3rd mana to cast Pestilence next turn. We also have 3 black mana. They draw a land. I guess they'll attack with only Body Dropper here. I mean, they probably want to attack with everything, because they can sacrifice the creatures. Ooh. I probably champ block here, because next turn I have a Pestilence, and I want to play my Omen of the Dead, getting my Lone Missionary, so basically I'm not taking 3 damages here, so I can rely more on my Pestilence when I'm trying to kill the threat. Guardian of the Guild Pact is great, but it can't jump block Body Dropper. Go Pestilence, do your thing. Next turn we can destroy their 1/1 creatures and then play Lone Missionary. Ooh, that's really... oh, not really okay, I mean. Okay, they don't have any cards left in hand, but since they have 5 tokens, they can deal 10 extra damage this turn, so I'm not sure if I'm alive, but they can deal so much damage that probably they will win in turn. Unless I draw Rumble spells per Body Dropper. And thankfully I bring back Lone Missionary with my Omen of the Dead. Curiously they did not. Wahoo! We draw the cast down at the right time. We are killing some threats, and then we are playing Lone Missionary next turn. Of course I should play cast down right now. And then they will have only 2 creatures. I will have only 4 lives left, so I will die if they draw. What are you doing, opponent? Okay, they letting the Goblin's Leather survive. Oh, probably I should not ping it too much with Pestilence. They're lethal, yeah. They're lethal. They have enough damage because they can sacrifice 3 goblins with War Marshal. Yeah, I should have just killed their tokens instead of trying to kill their Goblin's Leather. Because they just needed a Cool Death Rebirth or a Lightning Bolt to kill me. And they draw a War Marshal, which basically is a Cool Death Rebirth. Okay, so basically my opponent is running a sort of aggressive sacrifice deck. They are also running a lot of Rumble spells, but we should not be worried about those threats too much, I guess. General Aesthetics seems fine. Yeah, they are running a lot of Rumble spells, and no, they're running a lot of tokens, but we can kill their tokens with Pestilence. Ethics can answer Body Dropper and Carry Feeder. I think I don't want to change anything. I did misplay there, but okay, if they did draw, if I did not ping another time with Pestilence and they'll only win damage, what will eventually change it? Well, I would be able to kill their Goblin on upkeep. We have a double blocker and cast down. I think I'll keep it, because we can play Dawnbringer Cleric, gain 2 lives, then play Korsky Fisher or cast down. Pretty reasonable end, I mean, I guess. I was worried too much to use all my mana, and then I didn't think that I would be eventually able to use better to have a better use of my mana by splitting the damage of Pestilence in 2 turns. That's what happens when you don't play a lot against a certain kind of strategies, or you just don't play a lot of one deck. Double Kursky Future. I think we can play Spear Supplies. I don't have a lot of resources. you don't have a lot of answers in my hand, so I think sometimes it's better to just have another removal spells. Okay, if you don't anything else, I'll play Jordan over the Yielded. Wow, I was expecting them to exile their creatures on response, but anyway, I think that playing Jordan over, since it's a sorcery speed removal spells, here is better. Oh, they also ran an experimental synthesizer. That's the reason why they're playing Quildator Birth. What do you have in hand now? Next turn I'll play double Dawnbringer Cleric or Skyfisher and Cleric, and with Skyfisher I'll bring back Spare Supplies. Unless they have a Body Dropper, on any other relevant threat. If they have a relevant threat, I'll just kill it with Cast Down. Alright, we have the Cast Down to kill it. I assume that playing Korsky Fisher just to bring back Spare Supplies is better now. We have a lot of lives, and we already used two removal spells. Those Spare Supplies are good at finding the land drops. Lightning Bolt, targeting my Korsky Fisher. Great. Caravan Feeder and only 2 cards left in hand. Okay, so I play Spare Supplies. I'll play Spare Supplies. Oh, that's great. We can jump block the Caravan Feeder. And then I play Korsky Fisher and bring back my Spare Supplies. Yep. So next turn you can play double Supplies, double Dawnbreaker, or just play Guardian of the Guildpact. Okay, Deadly Dispute, exiling Goblin's Ledger. If they find another Lightning Bolt or Accumulator Birth or something similar. Alright, so we don't really have a reason to jump block the Caravan Feeder. They found also Body Dropper. Body Dropper will be fearsome, but they can play Goblin's Ladder, which is great. I'm not gonna jump block it because we have Guardian of the Guildpact, but also it's different compared to Goblin's Ladder, and they can sacrifice whatever creature and still keep the bonus, saying it gives a +1/+1 counter. First we can play Spare Supplies and Radiant Fountain. So I guess that the right choice here is to play Guardian of the Guildpact. So we can jump block 2 creatures. Eventually the Body Dropper isn't really fearsome. They're drawing a lot of Quildator Bird's effect, but they only have 1 card left in hand and they have a lot of jump blockers. 3 mana, Garden. What are you doing with 3 mana? What do you have? Ripping the Graves, maybe? No, you don't have. Depth of the Kemi. Wow. Not sure if bringing back Goblin's Ladder was the right choice. I guess that jump blocking 1 token and blocking Caravan Feeder with Guardian of the Guildpact is the correct choice. I mean, eventually Body Dropper will grow, but at least we are able to prevent the damage from Caravan Feeder, and also we are able to kill 1 token. And we have 2 draws with spare supplies, and we also have 2 Dawnbreaker Cleric to get back 2 lives. So I guess we are fine. Opponent is not doing anything. Alright. Stonks. Spare supplies. And what we can do. Double cast down is great. Okay, so what we can do here? 5 mana, 5 mana. I think I'll pass and eventually kill my... Now, maybe I should just kill their threats right now. I mean, probably Body Dropper is wiser to kill it. Kill it immediately. But I'm feeling that we can keep the cast down in hand because it can always draw something better than Body Dropper or Cannon Feeder, and you can still jump block the Cannon Feeder. The top deck get cast down. So we will kill the Cannon Feeder and then jump block Goblin's Ladder. So they need to choose what they want to survive, and if they only have 4 Goblin tokens on the battlefield, the game is pretty fine for me. We'll deploy another Guardian and Dawnbreaker Cleric. I want to get 2 extra lives here, or I want to excite their creatures. I think that getting 2 lives is better, since there's nothing relevant in their graveyard, or if they have anyway a lot of cards that they do the same thing. So we just get 2 lives, and eventually we can get Scry 1 from Silver Quill Campus. Another Depth of the Kimi. Oh no, they're trying to draw 2 cards with the Yucapin dual lands. Lightning Bolt on my Dawnbreaker Cleric. Generous Edict. Should I crack my spare supplies? I think not. So I'll get 2 lives from Radiant Fountain and then scry 1 with Silver Quill Campus. I can also scry 1 in my upkeep to get some better card advantage or card quality. I think I like Dragon Inspector here. It's just a extra charm blocker. Fetch for black and pass, so we can scry 1 again next turn. Apparently they are not playing Goblin Watchwalker, which is pretty great for me, so I cannot worry too much about them having too many creatures on the battlefield. So for that reason I'm keeping my Generous Edict in hand, and well, we just need to wait for a Pestilence or many other charm blockers. What are he doing? 1 mana? I'm eventually kind of worried about what they maybe play, because, for example, I wasn't expecting Depth of the Chemi, but Depth of the Chemi is still great as a way to interact with my Pestilence. Alright, there's Mortician Beetle. Another cool dot. Wow, a lot of jump blockers, a lot of tokens. Bottom. We can crack these spare supplies eventually. Alright, that's great anyway, because we can bring back double Korsky Fisher. Omen, Omen, Omen of the Dead. Now we have no charm blockers. I think I'll bring back Travel Inspector instead of Korsky, instead of Spare Supplies or Omen. So we are cracking the clue token, and then next turn we can crack Spare Supplies or crack Omen of the Dead to take the Scry 2. Okay. That's not so much troublesome. They're still waiting. I cracked the Omen. Bajuka bottom. And at this point of the game I'll also put on bottom Travel Inspector. I can play Dawnbringer Cleric and crack Spare Supplies or get this Scry 1. I think that will be better to play Spare Supplies here. So I play Dawnbringer Cleric then, get 2 lives, and your turn, opponent. Let's see what you are able to do. Probably I should also play the second copy of Silver Campus. Body Dropper, okay. We need an Armor spell or a Pestilence. Body Dropper is always on against me because it's multicolored, so I can't jump block it with the Guardian of the Guild. I can't block it with the Guardian of the Guild Pact. Noise. Alright, Pestilence. Deals 1 damage. You can sacrifice all your tokens. And then I have 3 charm blockers for your Body Dropper and double Trainer's Edict. I'll play the Tappet line, of course. They have 2 black big creatures and 1 black big colored creatures, but have to do Trainer's Edict in end, so I'm fine. Next turn we will have 12 mana, so we will be able to play Trainer's Edict, Flashback Edict, and then play another Edict. That's a lot of trigger on the stack. Anyway, we were able to win thanks to the card advantage generated by cards like Spare Supplies and Honor of the Dead. Or at least I'm probably gonna to win, but they may still have something troublesome. So let's wait. Maybe they'll cast Double Fling this turn and I will lose. That's part of the game. Oh, okay. So I should Chum Block with Traben. No, probably it's better to Chum Block with Thronebringer Cleric. I play Rhydon Fountain to get back some lives. Oh no, Traben is gonna die if I ping too much with my Pestilence. Yeah, I should Chum Block it with Traben Inspector instead of Thronebringer Cleric. I'm gonna lose a meaningless way my Traben Inspector. Is sacrificing their token. I guess they will also sacrifice the Mokomor Marshal, which is great. Okay. And that's fine for me. Those creatures are really big. But I have a lot of Chain Lightning. Oh no, my core Skyfisher. Poor thing. You killed my core Skyfisher. So I'll also kill your creatures. So he's probably gonna sacrifice Mortician Beetle, then Carrion Feeder, and keep the Booty Dropper on the battlefield. Since they can't attack with their mono black creature, but they can attack with Body Dropper. Since I can't jump, I can't block. But what they don't know is that I have another Trainer Static in hand, so there's no reason to think a lot about it. I have enough answers to their threats, and it was good to keep all my Trainer Static in hand till now. And we did the thing, we forced the sacrifice deck to sacrifice their creatures to my spells, and they conceded. Easy peasy. Alright, for the last match we are against Lostonkato. We're starting first. And the starting guide is not bad because we have a Traben Inspector, Spirit Overseer, Spare Supplies, enough lands, both white and black mana. So I guess I'm gonna keep it. And let's see what the opponent is playing. Because lostonkato right now is playing a wide range of different decks. From Familiar Control to Madness Burn, so probably if they start with Island, they're playing Familiars. And Familiars seems kind of complicated. So we're gonna kill the Sunscape Familiar before it gets some time advantage, then we attack with Traben. And also I think that we will play in Spring Overseer on turn 3, just to put more pressure on the battlefield. Wow. Oh, we can bring back the Bujukabog. Okay, you're drawing upon it. So we are attacking with this Spring Overseer. If they have anything flying, we can really charm block. If they don't, it will be eventually troublesome. So if we draw our house spell, we kill the Unlucky Monster. If we don't, we draw too much recursion. Sadly, recursion from the graveyard is bad against Laminias because they are not relying on removal spells, on any other sort of fair card advantage. Faithfuls, okay. Another Faithful, so they play Protein. If you are lucky enough, we draw one Pestilence before they have a counter spell in hand. So we draw a card with the Clue token. And right now our card advantage doesn't really matter. Our race also doesn't really matter since they have double Faithful. Fountain. Garden of Decklist. Pestilence on top, please. Monarch. And I guess Monarch will be the way to play the match. We can also attack with Spring Overseer. They only have one Archmonster as an attacking creature, so they need 2 snap to bounce back my Giant Spectre and Trouble, and then we can attack with Spring Overseer. Unless they have both Double Snap and Ephemerate. Double Snap and Drifter. Okay. They're Ephemerating their Drifter. Sadly enough, on game 1 the matchup is truly bad, but at the last post side we have Loki against Shinobi, Castigate and Relic to try to kill them. Yeah, compared to the control-ish version of Pestilence, we are lacking, at least in game 1, of the answers that usually Control Pestilence has. They really have double snap and drifter. Yeah, I should have played around double snap and Moondrifter. But anyway, if they are untapping with Archomancer and Ephemerate, even if they don't steal our Monarch, we are probably not gonna be able to survive unless we draw Pestilence. Another Ephemerate. Cool. Pestilence on top will be awesome, because we will be able to kill the Moondrifter and Archmonster. We're not able to steal back right now the Monarch, but I think that would be better than nothing. Another Archmonster, oh my goodness. So they bring back Snap, which is terrible, and there's no Pestilence on top. Okay. I think that I should draw one Pestilence. If I don't, I can still play Guardian of the Guild Pact or kill their Archmancer. Killing their Archmancer would be probably better than nothing, so at least they can't loop Ephemerate. Probably I should attack it, but their Ephemerate are still solving. So what do we need to draw here? Just Pestilence. It's sad how this matchup is relying too much on Pestilence or whatever. Right now the current game situation is relying on Pestilence. It's really draw the third copy of Archmancer. But what are you drawing back with Ephemerate? Oh, okay, the second copy of Ephemerate. Fair enough. Snapping back my Spring Overseer? Okay. I mean, I'm just hoping to draw my Pestilence, but they can eventually counter it with Prohibit right now, so... blah. Wow, broken. Alright, counter my Monarch if you want. But there's no real reason to counter Monarch here. And... I guess I should play in Spring Overseer because I want to play Bujikabot this turn. Too many lands. At least we exile the other two copies of Archmancer, so if you are able to find a Pestilence, maybe you are able to do something. Oh, whatever. Just discard Ashbarans. I think that this game 1 is already lost, but whatever. I'll continue to play it just so you who are watching this video are able to overwatch that this game is probably unwinnable. Game 2, I'm probably gonna take out my Clever Crucial, Custody Squire, Omen of the Dead, also Dawnbringer Cleric, which does nothing against Pestilence, against Familiars. Okay, we can destroy the Modern Age, but I think that being able to destroy their Modern Age with Dawnbringer Cleric doesn't really matter. Also, the Modern Age discarding Deep Analysis to just draw 3 cards by tapping 2 mana is strong only when they have at least one System Familiar and enough ways to gain lives. We're attacking with their Drifters and it's probably impossible that they don't have a Prohibit in hand, so whatever we do, I think there's no way for us to win. Well, we can bait one Countess Paul. Maybe they want to counter Guardian of the Guild, but I think that there's no reason to counter it. Also, they have enough Pro Ephemerate and mana to counter everything. So if we play Pestilence, they counter it. They don't have Probate in it? Weird. Wow, no Prohibit, really? Okay, they found it. And we concede. there's no reason to play again, to continue to play this game. Okay. So what are we cutting against them? Pesticide. I think that Keep Against Shinobi, Castigate, and Relic of Progenitus are the cards that we want against them. I also think that Ashes to Ashes can be good because they can really counter it with Prohibit in early game, and also it exiles the creatures instead of just killing them, so they can't bring back the creature with Mortuary. We cut, don't bring a Cleric, which does nothing. We also can remove the Omen of the Dead, maybe Journey to Nowhere. I don't think that we want to kiss 3 square. I still should cut for cut. Journey to Nowhere has always been bad against Ephemeris decks. Also, if they're bringing Enchantment 8, is truly bad. And we are cutting 2 copies of Tuner's Edict, I guess, because as you can see, Tuner's Edict is good only in the early game or whenever they can sacrifice a value card. So basically we prefer to have only cast down as removal spells alongside Pestilence, because we prefer to have the removal spells as we need to counter their Ephemerate. Anyway, the matchup is obviously bad. We have Pestilence, but if we are not able to resolve Pestilence, at least game 1, the matchup is kind of unwinnable. Probably I'm gonna keep this end because we have a Traveling Inspector into Spring Overseer and Koski Fisher, but we are lacking the 3rd land. We don't really have anything relevant. Guardian of the Guild, but isn't exactly good. No, just mulligan it. Kind of better, I guess, but I'm not mulligan it to 5 only because we have 3 different interactions and a Pestilence. We can still draw some lands eventually, I guess. I'm not sure. This end is just bad if we don't draw another land. Also, we just draw no Keep Against Shinobi. Dream Start. Of a bounce land right on the spot. I think we are exiling Counterspell, so next turn eventually we will able to play Pestilence if we draw and untap the land. If we don't draw and untap the land, we can just play Castigate and exile Ephemerate. Or Snap. Oh, exile Ephemerate. Yeah, I think we should exile Ephemerate. If you exile Snap, we will eventually be able to play Keep Against Shinobi, but I think that not letting them resolve Ephemerate is better, because at certain point they will probably gonna be tap out to cast Archromancer or any other value spell. There's a poor thing. If they don't found an answer to Pestilence or a counterspell or a Revoke's Existence, we will then able to play our threat. So we can kill Sunscape Familiar and eventually their Archromancer. Alright. So they have 2 Arc Monsters and 1 Snap. They draw... no, they bounce... that's the land they bounce it later. Wow. Sadly, Snap is probably good only when it comes to bouncing back Okiba Gen Shinobi, and we have Okiba Gen Shinobi in hand. I probably should kill the Sunscape Familiar. I'm not sure if I should also kill Ghostface Faithful. Eventually, if they kill the Sunscape Familiar and play... no, I should kill only Sunscape Familiar. So I can play Travel Inspector, there's still Ghostface Faithful on the battlefield, and they can't snap my creature, and there's also another creature on the battlefield, so Pestilence will eventually survive. So basically we are using Pestilence to force to stop them from getting value from their Arc Monsters. Oh, they're snapping another creature. Ah, they're snapping the Sunscape Familiar. I think it's worth to destroy both the Familiar and the Faithful. So we exile 1 card from the graveyard, then bring back Snap, of course. But then we can place Traben, we keep the Pestilence, and then if they want to bounce my Traben, which is the only creature on the battlefield, they need to play an Arch Monster. So they're not really generating value, but let's see. Have another Familiar, or no? That's a Familiar. Okay, you bring back Snap, but I can still clear your creatures, and I need to draw a land, so I can do various things here. I think I'll play first a land, then exile the card in graveyard. I'll tap some mana just to kill their creatures. They'll probably play Snap on their Archomancer, so it's probably wiser to play first the Kosuke Fisher to bring back my Travel Inspector. Unless they draw Prohibit, in example. Kosuke Fisher just sold. I guess they're snapping back. If they're snapping back Familiar, I think that's okay, because I want to kill the Arc Monster and not the Familiar. Counterspell. Flicker. Oh, okay. That's fine for me. Because they're wasting 1 card in hand. Ah, okay, we can kill their graveyard. I think it's worth to exile the graveyard, so they can't bring back Ghost of Flicker. And we still have 2 mana, so we can bring back Traben, and we can eventually kill their Archomancer. And we exile Ghost of Flicker. Okay, we are not really able to interact with your graveyard anymore, but we already exiled their Snap. They wasted Snap, bouncing back Sunscape Familiar, and they have 2 no cards in hand. We can craft the Clue, maybe? Oh, I think I want to ping with Pestilence. So we are dealing extra damage, and we are trying to kill the Archomancer, forcing them to play another Snap on Archomancer, so we can eventually ninjutsu Okiba. Ninjutsu the Okiba. And if I'm right, I still have 2 mana to to activate my Pestilence and enforcing them to discard 2 cards, which is more important, I think. Okay, they're cycling Ash Barons. And then they are discarding 2 cards, Island and something else. Maybe not some answer. Island and Sensory. Alright, I'll pass. In their hand phase, I shall draw a card with the clue token. Then they can't truly unblock my Okiba unless they have a blink effect, and they still don't have any relevant spell in the graveyard. They have 3 lands, 1 Archmancer. They're passing the turn. Nice. So we draw a card with Pestilence. Radiant Foot. Very well, nothing, I guess. Then we are attacking with Okiba Shinobi. They're probably gonna channel block with Sunscape Familiar, which is still fine for me. Then I'll play. I think I'll play Inspiring Overseer, followed up by Koski Fisher. Probit on my Inspiring Overseer. Okay. Maybe I should play Korsky Fisher, bringing back my Okiba Shinobi. So if they want to... no, I'll bring back my Portugal. Oh, yeah, I should have played Radiant Fountain. I should not play Radiant Fountain just to be able to exile the graveyard with Orbit. They have an Archmancer in hand, so they're casting Archmancer to bring back Prohibit. But if they don't unblock with Archmancer, I will then be able to discard their Prohibit and under the card more Troymire. What are you bringing back? Archmancer, I guess? There's no value by bringing back Sunscape Familiar. Okay, so now it's difficult for them to win against me because I have an Okiba Shinobi on the battlefield. So anyway, we are exiling something relevant, but whatever, I think that it's better to play first Spear Supplies. So if I can find a removal spell, I can exile both the Prohibit and Archmancer. I'll play Inspiring Overseer because it's a flying creature. Anyway, they have put on the top Archmancer, so with Archmancer they just bringing back Revoke Existence, so there's not much value from it. So this turn... Ooh... seems a reasonable draw, so they will probably gonna counter my Chinar's Edict. Sure. I'm attacked with everything. If I play Relic of Progenitus, then they will be able to exile it with Revoke Existence, but then, unless they draw something which is relevant, they will not be able to do anything relevant. So probably it's not worth to play Relic of Progenitus right now, because they can exile with Revoke Existence. Probably it's better to first attack, I mean the next turn, then they are discarding Revoke Existence, and then we play Relic of Progenitus. Okiba Shinobi won the game. Okiba Shinobi is still the best card against value decks with that don't have... Why I boarded out a Korsky Fisher? That's a misclick. Okay. That's a misclick. Guardian of the Guild Fact is not probably worth against the familiars because it's just a 2-3 creatures, but it keeps Pestilence on the battlefield. Unless we board out a Traveling Inspector or an Inspiring Overseer, we should cut something else. I think that having 2 copies of Trainer Edict can be good. We should cut 1 copy of Trainer Edict. After all, the matchup is just resolves around me being able to play Rocky against Shinobi or a Pestilence at the right time. So I think that these removal spells aren't really relevant. And as you were able to see, they are running answers to enchantments, so it's not worth to keep drawing nowhere. And I shall keep this end because we have a turn for keep against Shinobi, so there's no reason to mulligan it. And we also throw this singleton copy of Trainer Edict. A little sad that we are already using Buju Kabog and 2-1, but at last we have at least we can play eventually keep against Shinobi on 2-3. On 2-4, I mean. Probate on my spare supply. Negate targeting my spare supplies. I'm a little sad about it. 2 mana. Demoder Age. Okay. Just discard your card. They're discarding Ash Barons. Since I have no keep against Shinobi, I think that it's worth to play Korsky Fisher now. I'm generating a lot of disadvantage from playing 2 and 3 Korsky Fisher, but I think it's bad to not be. I'll fetch another swamp. Then I'm open by 2 mana. They blinking. They have the Victor Collider. Faithful is fine. 2 mana, 2 blue mana. Okay, there's deep analysis. But we are killing Vector Leader, so we can ninjutsu. Oh no, wait, they may have snap. If we play Trainer Edict, they just sacrifice God's Various Faithful, I guess, because Vector Leader can channel block my Korsky Fisher. How much value we get from Guardian of the Guild Pact? Okay, let's see if they want to protect the Vector Leader. Prohibit targeting my cast down. Kind of unexpected. So they don't have any answer to my Okiba against Shinobi, probably. Guardian is bad with God's Various Faithful on the battlefield, so I'll play Inspiring Overseer. And then we will see what they have in hand the next turn. I mean, Okiba against Shinobi can be truly great, but is dependent on the game state, similar to Torn of Black Rose. So if we are able eventually to draw something relevant, maybe we will be also able to do something better. Next turn, they'll probably let resolve my Trainer Edict by sacrificing God's Various Faithful, but then they will have to Demon Age on the battlefield, so they will also be able to steal my monarch later in the game. Where are my lands? I think that I need to draw at least one other land or a Pestilence. So in my opinion, it's better to have more flying creature, because we can draw either lands or Ramblas or Pestilence. Your turn, opponent. Just do your things. I mean, I missed land drops, so I missed a couple of land drops, and that's bad. Yeah, you're bringing back Prohibit. Ponder. Okay, maybe they have another counter spell in hand. Noise. So we can China's Edict. I think that since they have a couple of the modern age, is not really wise to try to force my Okiba Shinobi. So we can try to Okiba Shinobi after resolve a Pestilence, and just keep my flying creature trying to have an answer to their favorite if they want to play Carcomancer. Well, whatever, as you can see, Genocetics does nothing in this matchup. Okay, there's the Sunskip Flare. They also have Prohibit, I guess. Or Negate. They're snapping back Carcomancer. Okay. Still terrible for me. At least we have Buchukabog. Should we play Okiba Shinobi? Only if they don't bring back Snap, but I guess they want to bring back Prohibit here. Well, if we draw Pestilence, we will resolve Pestilence. And then hope that they don't have a Rock Existence in hand. Alright. I guess that is time to Okiba against Shinobi. We are losing 2 copies of Inspiring Overseer, but since they have an Ephemerate, I think it's better to Mind Rote them. Unless they have another Snap, or yeah, they need another Snap. Wow, cool. Nice way to lose. I mean, Snap is not even good against me, it's good only against Okiba Shinobi. No, you don't want to place Prohibit on my Drop Inspector. You know that I have a Buchukabog in hand. If you play Prohibit here, you lose your Ephemerate look basically. Okay, you can still blank Vector Leader, which is not bad, but I mean, you won if you have Prohibit plus Ephemerate in hand, because you have something like Infinite Mana in hand. So we lost game 1, won game 2, and probably lost game 3. They can counter my 4 mana spell with a 2 mana Prohibit. But we have 2 copies of Korsky Fisher, so we can play double Korsky Fisher, forcing them to Prohibit the first one. But they still have another Prohibit. Yeah. I think we have lost. Yeah, they don't have Prohibit in exile. No. we have lost. Oh, well, if they don't draw anything relevant, at least we can try to resolve something, I guess, but Prohibit is better Monarch, especially when we are playing a blue pile. I mean, Ephemerate is a blue Monarch. It's also silly how they were able to win thanks to Vector Glider. If they let my Guardian of the Guildpath resolve, we can eventually ninjutsu it. They already played 2 snaps, so will be kind of probable that they will not have another one in hand, but they have a lot of cards in hand. It's truly weird that they didn't draw a single Moon Drifter till now. All right. Go Kiba. So they're discarding land, another card. Double land. Yikes. Unless we draw a Castigate, we can do nothing, so there's no reason to keep the Bojuka Bog in hand, I guess. Because we need Castigate to force... what? They already played Ephemerate, so we exiled their Prohibit. Awesome. Next turn we can try to play Pestilence. If they have an answer, we can Korsky Fisher the Bojuki Bog, but they may have another. Okay, they just want to. They already played Ephemerate. Ah, maybe they have another Ephemerate in hand. They already played. No, wait, where's the Prohibit? They bring it back with Ephemerate probably. Yeah, bring it back with Ephemerate. Well, unless they have Ghost of Flicker. The 3rd copy of Snap, okay. Pretty silly situation, I guess. Even if I resolve Pestilence, they may have a Rock Resistance in hand. Anyway, you need another black mana. So I play Spare Supplies and then play Korsky Fisher. Okay. Now they'll probably prohibit, counter my Scape Fisher, ephemerate Carcomancer. Unless we draw the second copy of Pestilence, we will probably not be able to do nothing. And even if we draw it... why are you still playing? You have infinite lives. Well, that's true, but if you get infinite life, I can still win by killing their threats, and then there's a double ephemerate. I can't win this game. I can try to win by timing out the opponent, but does that make sense? I mean, yeah, if I have infinite life, but if I have more cards in my graveyard, like in my deck, I mean, I can still try to win by wearing you out. So, yeah, play another Commancer, why not? Bringing back a Prohibit, bouncing Scape Fisher, attack for 6, and then we lost to the modern age. Another Mooldrifter. I think that bringing back again Snap wasn't the right choice. I mean, you prefer to have Prohibit plus Ephemerate so you can play double Prohibit in a single turn. Anyway, that doesn't really matter. Because I need to draw Castigate, hoping they don't have double counterspell. But we didn't draw Castigate. 0 Castigate in the first half of the deck means that we are not able to win. Go Inspiring Overseer, force the opponent to counter you. Wow! 0 Castigate means you can't win, I guess. 0 Castigate or 0 Kill against Shinobi. I guess I can play Scape Fisher. So I can bounce back in Inspiring Overseer, playing again Inspiring Overseer. Or bounce back Spare Supplies. And anyway, getting 2 lives from Radiant Fountain to what to say. Oh, Jesus. No, I need to bring back Inspiring Overseer. And it's still lost again because they can counter Inspiring Overseer. I can assure you that I play 4 copies of Castigate, and if I did draw a Castigate at the right time, maybe I were able to win. Whatever. Doesn't really matter now. And that's it. We lost 2 familiars, predictable, but still a sad loss since I draw only 1 Relic of Progenitus. No, 0 copies of Relic of Progenitus maybe? Only 1 copy of Relic, 0 copy of Castigate, and 1 Okiba, but we will never get a change to ninjutsu since they always add a modern age. Pretty sad. Okay guys, so the deck is still kind of playable, but if you try to play the grindy game against most decks, Affinity is no more a deck relying on Artug, Itug or Disciple of the Vault, so Dust to Dust, in my opinion, is no more playable. Sadly enough, we didn't face any Boros Metal deck, but I can assure you that whenever I faced the Boros Metal the matchup felt somewhat bad, but still winnable, especially if the opponent is not playing good, is not playing well. Affinity seems kind of reasonable as matchup because they have a lot of card advantage, but they are weak to Pestilence since they are not running Enchantment 8, and we can also try to overrace them if they have a pretty slow start. For example, the second match, my opponent probably boarded out all their Frogmites, and that was, in my opinion, a bad choice. I'm not sure what they bring in from their sideboard. Probably both the Spell Pierce and Turn Aside, but I'm not running any Dust to Dust, so Turn Aside is good only as a counter to my cast out, so is pretty weak against me, or at least against this list I'm currently running. Oh well. They can't even counter the come si chiama? The Dawnbringer Cleric ability, since it's the ability that target the makeshift munitions. Makeshift munitions is good, but probably I also need another enchantment 8, not in form of Lymph Trace, but in form of Core Certifiers. Core Certifiers is probably the better answer alongside makeshift munition. Alongside Dawnbringer Cleric, we can play against Affinity since it can kill both munitions and Blood Fountain and eventually Mirror Enforcer. So if you are facing a lot of Affinity, or if you want to play in a metagame filled with Affinity, I think that you want to play Core Certifiers in 1 or 2 copies in your sideboard. You may cut your copies of Lymph Trace in your sideboard since you are already running 4 copies of Generous Edict and 2 copies of Dawnbringer Cleric, so maybe your matchup against Boggles is not so terrible that you need 2 copies of Lymph Trace. I'm not sure, because the current Pauper metagame seems to have a lot of our X-Proof and having a lot of copies of cards that are good against matchups that I'm probably gonna face in the Pauper Challenge or the Pauper League is good. Okay guys, thank you for watching these videos and see you next week.